Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 23, and today we are returning with a brand new season as Season 4 gets underway at the Den, as we'll take on Preston North End in the Championship season opener, and also take a look at the transfers in the Transfer Special too. Let's get to that first. God, I love doing the transfer specials. It's just fun. I don't know why. I said this a few times now. I just really enjoy going through both the departures and, of course, the signings as well. And it's been a very big window for Millwall as well. Perhaps the busiest, maybe, not entirely sure, but certainly the most interesting one to Den, with some big sales and some big signings as well. So let's start off with the sales, then the departure from the club. We will start off with not the sales in terms of transfers to other clubs, but free transfers, where as you can see there were quite a few interesting things going on. Release players even. There were quite a few interesting things going on in terms of departures on free transfers for us. We let go of Ashkan the Jagger, of course, for 2 years, and he's gone on a free transfer, so totally fine with me. Wasn't going to get a new deal, and Steve Morrison decided to retire at the end of the season as well. The wily old Silver Fox Steve Morrison retired from the club and hasn't been given a staffing role as his stats aren't the best. But the most interesting departure on a free was definitely this one, Fred Onyedinma, a really decent young right winger talent here at Millwall. He was out of contract in the summer. I tried to give him a new one. He wasn't interested, so he left on a free transfer, wasn't happy about it, and he's gone to Charlton. So Onyedinma has swapped the Den for the Valley. Interesting move there for Onyedinma, and of course we'll face him this season in those South London derbies, and I wonder what reception he'll get not signing that new contract and going to a rival team. So Onyedinma's gone, Morrison retired, and the Jagger left as well. But as for players that left the club just permanently, if you will, on transfer fees, well, 2 players left, both Northern Irish players. First, Conor McLaughlin sold to Aston Villa for 750 grand. Out of contract at the end of next season, decided to cash in on him, probably undersold him, but decided to let him go as he wasn't happy at the club. And also, George Saville left the club as well. I didn't want to sell Saville, but he was unhappy as well, as his minutes were getting slowly reduced as the seasons were going by. And he's gone to Brentford for £2 million. Another player who possibly undersold a little bit. He's only just turned 27. He's got some really good stats, but he wasn't getting the game time here. I think he deserved first team football, so Saville's gone. We've got a stacked CM area regardless, and to get $2 million for the guy as well, that's not too bad. So those are our 5 main departures, if you will. Now let's move on to the signings, and this has been a very interesting window at the Den. Let's get straight to it. So we'll start off with a player that's coming back for his 3rd stint at the Den, but this is a permanent move. Freddie Woodman, who spent the last 2 years on loan here from Newcastle United, was released by the Magpies in the summer, and I decided to snap him up on a free transfer. Of course, in the first season, shared the number 1 role with Jordan Archer. Second season last year was back up to George Long, but this season, coming on the free transfer, this is a bargain. We discussed Freddie Woodman way back when we signed him. It was a player that could sign for us permanently after successful loan spells, and that's exactly what we've done, and we got him on a free as well. So absolute steal. Woodman in on a free transfer. I don't know whether he'll take George Long's place as our number 1 goalkeeper. The coaching staff seems to suggest he is the better goalkeeper right now, but I thought Long last season was really good, but he does have more potential. He is younger, and on a free transfer, I'm excited about the long-term future of Woodman. I wanted to get him permanently after those 2 loan spells. We've done so on a free transfer as well. Absolute steal. 4-year contract and no minimum fee release clause. Well, it is one, but it's £20 million, and that is not too big. So unlike Jordan Archer, if he is to go, we'll get a lot more money. So Woodman in on a free, and that is an absolute steal to start the window off. Next up is a young talent, and there is more where this came from. Yashin Garbi is the second signing I'll show you. This is a Tunisian 18-year-old central midfielder who arrived for a really cheap deal of just £275,000 with no future clauses. His contract looks like this. It's a 4-year deal, but he does have a £25 million release clause, but that's totally fine with me because I'm not sure it'll be worth that much money in just the space of 4 years. But 18 years old, he's got some pretty decent stats. Technically not terrible right now. 11 first touch, 14 long shots, pretty decent, and 16 passing, gotta love that. Mentally not great, just 10 for determination, but physically very decent indeed. 15 acceleration, 15 balance, which I find quite important on a central midfielder, and 15 stamina too. And our CM area is stacked, so I'm not entirely sure how much game time he'll see in his first season then, but he's got some good stats. He's definitely got some decent potential as well, and I'm pretty happy with this signing. This could be one to watch in the future, and a really good young talent. And again, there's more where that came from. including the next signing I'll show you. Ricardo Menjivar, another 18-year-old arriving here at the Den. And just like Garby, both of these two signings are quite interesting because I had work permit problems with both of these players, but I completed the deals and it doesn't seem as though they're ineligible for the championship games. Now, I don't know if that means that if we are to get promoted to the Premier League at some point in the series, they'll then be ineligible to play, but it seems like they're fine to play in the championship, so who cares about those work permit problems if they don't stop us from playing our players in the league. So Menjivar, like Garby, is in, and again, it's a really cheap deal, just £190,000. He comes from El Salvador, and I really like this kid's stats as well. 15 for corners, 15 for crossing, really like that. Mentally not great, but 18 determination already, really like 2 of 15 decisions, and physically really good as well. He's very, very quick. 16 acceleration, 15 for pace, 13 agility, not bad either, and looks like a really good player for the future. If he's on the left side, he'll probably be an inside forward as he is a right-footed player only, but if we operate him on the right-hand side with 15 crossing, he could be really effective. So it just turns out really, it just depends really on what role you want to give him, an inside forward role or a natural winger role. But Menjivar, like Garby, a good young talent and one to watch for the future. That was my emphasis in this year's transfer window, and I'm very happy with these two signings. But the penultimate signing I'll show you is not young, and he's not much of a talent now, but still could be a pretty decent backup player. The biggest profile signing, if you will, of the window, I always make one. If you've been watching me play Football Manager for the past few years on YouTube, you'll know every single window there's always one experienced pro that comes in to the club I'm managing. Ignacio Abate has joined on a free transfer from Toulouse. The experienced Italian right-back's picked up 22 caps for his country and of course spent the majority of his career at Milan. And he's here on a one-year deal. If he plays 20 league games, he'll get an extension on the contract and stay on for another season. But I kind of hope he doesn't do that, because I'm pretty sure by the time he turns 34 in November, he won't look even as good as he does right now, which isn't great to begin with. Technically not bad though, mentally not bad, and physically not bad either on a 33-year-old. He'll play backup for Marlon Romeo, but does look like a pretty decent squad player to have, and on a free transfer as well, an experienced pro, I'll take it. So Abate in, and yeah, the only experienced player signing in the window, but again, there's always one. There's always one. And as for the fifth and final signing we made, well, it's another young talent, and this guy really excites me a lot and reminds me of a player I had in last year's Hull Save who ended up being the star. Welcome to Millwall Football Club, John Black. It's a basic name, but there's nothing basic about this kid's potential. Like the two youngsters I showed you earlier, he's also 18 years old. This is a Northern Irish striker that I picked up from Derry City for £250,000. Thought it was 275 grand, £250,000. Already been capped 2 times by his country as well, and I gotta say, he really does remind me of Brian Donnelly. If you watch my Whole Save, you'll know who that is. He reminds me a lot of him. A left-footed player just like Donnelly was, a poacher just like Donnelly was, or an advanced forward like Donnelly was as well. He's quick like Donnelly was, with 15 acceleration, 15 pace, 16 stamina, really like that, but 8 for natural fitness, a little bit concerning, but it's just like Brian Donnelly. He's got stats that are so similar to Brian Donnelly, 15 off the ball already, really like that, and mentally 17 for composure, very crucial on a young striker. Finishing and first touch, not the best to begin with, but these are the sort of stats we can improve on over time, and I'm excited. And again, he really does, with all of these stats, coming in at this age as well, he reminds me so much of Brian Camera Shy Donnelly, who was the star of my Whole Save, and that's why I had to pick him up. A really cheap deal on a 4-year contract, no minimum fee release clause. I'm excited. He looks so much like Brian Donnelly, and that's why when I found him, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely bringing him to the club. And for that transfer fee as well, what a steal this guy could prove to be. And there's no doubt, just like Donnelly, they're going to throw him in the first team and try and turn him into the next Brian Donnelly here at the Den. So 5 signings for Millwall this season, 5 key departures as well. But we only spent 725 grand, and only 3 of those players cost transfer fees. Of course, Woodman and Abate, both free transfers. And to get those 3 great young talents for a combined total of under $750,000, really good business. I thought we did great business in this window. We're putting a lot of hope on young players and really putting the pressure on these youngsters to become stars in the future, but I believe they can do. I really do. And to raise 2.8 million as well does mean our finances have improved to not as good as it's ever been, but almost as good as it's ever been. £13 million, and that's really good. And we still got 2.7 million in the transfer budget to work with as well. So that is what happened in the window at Millwall. You can see what happened in pre-season as well. As you can see, we played 6 games. They were all friendlies, of course, and we won every single one. The final one being one of those friendlies I arrange almost every season against a team that we expect to beat quite comfortably, and get the boys' confidence up for the first game of the season, where, as you can see, we're taking on Preston North End at home in the Carabao Cup. We've been joining against Stevenage as well. And as for our aims this season, where are we? As for our aims this season, we told the board we'll make the top half of the championship. We should do that, but I'm aiming for the playoffs like we got last season, as the FA Cup reached the 4th round and the Carabao Cup reached the 3rd round as well. So for the team report, as you can see, there's more strengths than weaknesses, a lot more strengths than weaknesses. Got to love that. And the depth of the team is definitely thicker than last year. We've improved the squad in terms of the numbers, no question. Bringing in those young talents is really going to help, and I'm excited. I think this is probably the best team we've had so far in the series. I really do feel that. It's been slow progression since season 1 due to the lack of finances we've got, but we are making improvements. Year after year, we are making improvements. Even if they're only slight improvements, it still steps forward regardless. And one thing to show you as well, one thing to show you that I think you definitely need to see is that Tim Cahill is back at the Den, and is he? I think he's under 23 assistant manager. Tim Cahill's back at the Den. He retired, and I brought him back as an under 23 assistant manager. I told you he was going to come back as a coach at some point, and that's exactly what happened. So Cahill's back in the coaching role, just like we planned way back in season 1. So that's pretty much all I want to show you. This is the hierarchy of the current team set up with our players and our team leaders. These are the core social group and the secondary social group and the others as well. I really like this. FM added this as a new feature. I really like this a lot in this year's FM. And as you can see, most of the players are happy right now and in the core social group too. Surprised that Ferguson is in the secondary social despite being a team leader. Quite surprising. And also for the change in terms of captaincy this season due to Morrison's retirement, Hutchinson is now taking the armband permanently, and Gregors, our top scorer last season, will be our vice-captain heading into season 4. As for the teams that came up from last season as well, just thinking of things I could show you before the first game, Blackburn won promotion via the playoffs. Bolton won the title last season, or did they finish second? And Bristol City, I think they won the championship last season, League One last season. And those 3 players gained to promotion to the championship. And also Sunderland have started off with a minus 12 points deduction due to administration. That's interesting, because I barely ever see that in Football Manager, but that does put the Black Cats in a very precarious position to start the season off. So let's get to it then. First game of the season is going to be against Preston North End at the Den. We have got an 0-3 record in season openers in this series. Let's get our first win here. Now, we're going to stick with the 4-4-2 and the same instructions we used for our last game of the season in the playoff semi-final second leg against Sheffield Wednesday, which means we won't be retaining possession, short passing, starting on attacking, and we're not playing out defence. We'll be mixing the passing up a little bit and trying to get the ball forward a little bit quicker and trying to get a few attacks on goal early if we can, and this will be our team for the game. We've got George Long in goal, back for Meredith, Hutchinson, Cooper and Marlon Romeo in the midfield, Ferguson on left, Webster's on the right, and in the middle Tunnicliffe and Fulton, and up top together John Black makes his debut alongside Marvin Brito. These 2 kids are going to be in the first 11 all season long this year, and I think Black might be as well. We are putting a lot of emphasis on the young players here. And on the bench, Anderson, due to the injury to Woodman, Nachita, Abate, Garby, Wallace, O'Brien and Gregory as well. First game, it's Preston. Let's get our first win of a season opener in the series. Come on, you Lions. So we're 6 minutes into the season opener, and already we've got an injury. Shane Ferguson's gone down with a gashed head, but should be okay to continue. And here is the first highlight. Come on, Millwall. We've got an 0-3 record in season openers. Let's get our first win here. Here's Ryan Tunnicliffe looking for Ferguson. The tackle's made. Meredith picks up and finds Tunnicliffe. And he'll give it to Jay Fulton. Through to Shane down left-hand side. Into Marvin Brito. Back towards Jay Fulton. I was looking for Black there to make the right run as Webster now receives the ball. As we look for our first chance. Brito's through. Oh, great chance for Marvin Brito. And how many one-on-one chances did this kid miss? Easy save. Should hit the back of the net. Another highlight though, just a few minutes later, Ferguson with a free kick whips one in. Hutchinson goes up. Brito, oh yes! He seems to miss a golden chance and then take a harder one the next time. Marvin Brito gets the goal and is off the mark in the season opener as we get ourselves in front. Our new club captain, Sean Hutchinson, nodding the ball down from Ferguson's free kick, and Brito with the finish. I have to say I'm really excited about this kid. You know, when we got him out of the academy season 1, didn't think too much of him, but we've given him some game time and he's not let us down too many times. So Brito fires in in front, 1-0 to Millwall. We're putting emphasis on young players this season, trusting the kids, and if they turn up, we've got a really bright future here at the Den. But here come Preston down the right hand side, across the middle. Fulton deals with it though, and Meredith receives it as we should escape from inside our own half pretty comfortably as Ferguson on the ball, down the left finds Black, and Black on his debut back to Ryan Tunnicliffe, keeps hold of the ball and finds Fulton. Now Ferguson over the top to John Black, down left hand side, two Northern Irish players linking up. Brito's in the centre for his second goal, and this could be the new dynamic duo, John Black to Marvin Brito, and it's a brace for Marvin as we go 2 goals to good, 90 minutes in. Perfect start, and the kids are showing exactly why we're trusting the youngsters. Great ball by Ferguson over the top, Black down the left hand side with a lovely ball into the centre, and there is Marvin to get his second goal, making it 2-0. What a start of the Den. The kids are alright. Obviously, I know there's been a lot of comments asking to change the tactics and stop playing the 4-4-2, but it's what we play in real life. We are so consistent with it, and we're playing well with it in the game most of the time. But as McBurney's onto the ball, a great chance here for Oliver to make it 2-1. He should have done as he fires over George Long's goal and behind for a goal kick. I really feel the set of players we have and the way we've played with this formation, the progression we're making year after year, I don't want to mess with the formation and change like a 4-2-3-1 or something. Even though I don't normally use a 4-4-2 in FM, it's working right now. I just don't want to jinx it. As Hernandez finds Bratton, who shoots Romeo heads to the way though, and Clinton Webster's first after the ball, and away we go again. Webster down the right hand side, storming forward, finds John Black. He's got Ferguson out wide. Does he want to feed him? No, goes alone, crosses. There is Webster off the post from Clinton Webster. These youngsters, 3 of them, all turning up in the first half, still leading by 2. But this has been a great first half. Preston had a good chance, but we put in a really good shift in this first half. Can we get a third goal as Brito on the ball is looking for a hat-trick? Clinton Webster down the right-hand side, takes on his man, back to Romeo, in goes the cross, Black is there, headed clear, Ferguson volleys it off the crossbar, and Small gets it away. Twice we hit the woodwork. Our youngsters are turning up in the season opener. I'm really loving this. So second half to begin. We are 12 minutes into the restart and still leading by 2. But Preston have come out of the blocks looking a better team right now as they get the first chance to half. But as Ryan Tunnicliffe dispossesses his man, there's a chance on the break. He's released Brito and he's on for the hat-trick. Marvin, oh God almighty, what was that? Fires it way wide the post and puts it behind for a goal kick. He's got to work on his composure on the one-on-ones, man. Seriously, he could have had 4 goals this afternoon. But we're still only leading by 2 and should be in front by more. As Preston look for a route back into the game. Here's Johnson on the ball finding Smallwood. And Smallwood plays that wide towards Roberts. If they get a goal here, I can see them coming back from 2 goals down to get at least a point in this game. Johnson's shot just wide the post. Half an hour to go. We need our young kids to keep cool heads here as we look for our first season opening win of the series. Don't want to make changes either. 17 minutes to go. It's the first game of the season, and it means so much because we've lost every single season opener so far. Got to make sure we don't throw this one away. Oh, Hernandez almost caught Long out there from the cross, and it hits the crossbar, and Long eventually gathers the second cross. Still up by 2-0. 50 minutes to go. This game should be ours, but Preston are now beginning to press and look for a route back into it later on. Bratton on the ball. Holds off Ryan Tunnicliffe for the time being and finds Hernandez once more into Smallwood, and Smallwood into Bratton. Now Evans receives the ball, plays it over the top of Meredith. Hernandez in behind him. Meredith with a tackle and does well but doesn't get the ball clear fully. Bratton shoots, scores. And it's 2-1, and I can just see the collapse coming. I can just see Preston bagging an equaliser and possibly a game winner later on. Good tackle initially by Meredith on Hernandez, but couldn't get the ball clear fully, the Aussie. And eventually, as it's played back to the man on the edge, Fisher finds Bratton, who finds the back of the net. 2-1, 50 minutes to go. Don't throw this away. Well, we are into stoppage time. I've made my 3 changes. We're almost there. Highlight here is Wallace crosses. Brito heads it. Oh, just wide the post. Marvin Brito. He gets so many chances, man. Seriously. But puts it wide and misses the chance for his hat-trick. But as we are past the 5th minute stoppage time, we're going to wait for the finals to come any second now, and that will confirm Millwall's first victory in a season opener. I've said this is our best team ever in the series, and I really do believe that because the kids really excite me, and that was a very good performance. We should have scored more goals. We really should have done. We missed a hatful of chances, but we got the win, and I'm just delighted. And for Marvin Brito as well, that was a really great display by our young, talented striker, and I think him and Black could be a fantastic partnership here at the Den for quite a while to come, and it's a perfect way to start the season. For the first time in the series, we win the first game. Ferguson's going to be out for a few days, but the next game is the Carabao Cup, so we won't bother putting him through injections or protective equipment, I should say. And yeah, Brito inspires Millwall win, and we do win for the first time in a season opener in the series. That's what we needed to return with this series. That's what I need as well. Great confidence moving on to the next few games. That will end the season opener of the Football Manager series, guys. We hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy the episode, then please do drop a like. We shall return with 2 more games, and there's a brilliant little double header here against 2 of our rivals in Crystal Palace and Charlton, but instead we'll gather some pace and come back for games against... Who have we not faced in the series so far? I'm just looking down the list here. I don't think we've faced Derby on camera yet, so I wouldn't mind coming back for Derby and possibly Hull away, or maybe a little bit sooner, possibly a Blackburn and Fulham double, as Blackburn won the first game convincingly. They won promotion last season, and Fulham at home as well. That's a good double header there. Blackburn away at Ewood Park, and then Fulham at home as well. So we'll return for those games in September, and I'll see you for the episode very soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager series, where hopefully the kids are continuing to impress very soon. Bye.